It is time for Cardinals baseball on the first official day of spring. It doesn't feel like it. It's cool. It's breezy here in Jupiter, Florida, as the Redbirds host Skip Schumacher and his Miami Marlins here at Roger Dean Stadium. It is the first day of spring, and look who's joined us. Jimmy Evans, Cardinal Hall of Famer, for our date today with the Marlins. Jim, the talk of camp has been a terrific young outfielder, Jordan Walker. I know you're excited to see him, as we all are.
Well, the talk of camp's going to be, I'm going to need a stool to catch up to you. But yes, you're not kidding. Jordan Walker has been a star. And you know what? This is one of those guys who is really going to shine because of the WBC, getting a chance to really show his talent. He's big, he can run, he can hit for power, average, and he can throw. And so all of those things right now are probably going to make it tough for Ollie Marmol when it comes to cutting time.
He's doing everything he can to force his way onto this 26-man roster for the Cardinals, and he's in the lineup today, hitting third for the Redbirds on the first day of spring at Roger Dean Stadium. Good to be with Jim Evans. Good to have you along as well. Cardinals baseball is coming your way next. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest is brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Great Southern Bank, understanding what really matters. By CarShield. CarShield cars go farther. And by your quality Ford dealers, proud sponsor of the St. Louis Cardinals. At long last, it is the first official day of spring. Doesn't feel like it in Jupiter today. It's a breezy, blustery day. Temperature struggling to get into the 70s. I know Cardinals country, Jim, won't have a whole lot of sympathy for us. I know it's 27 in St. Louis.
Yeah, I brought it with me. I definitely brought it with me.
Thanks so much.
Snowing when I left, and I got here. I was waiting for the sun. Haven't seen it yet.
Well, we'll see it tomorrow, and hopefully sunny times for the Cardinals as they take on Skip Schumacher and his Miami Marlins, who are 6-13 so far this spring. Schumacher in his first year at the helm in Miami. They've got a lot of their regulars in the lineup today against Jake Woodford. A lot of guys, Jim, playing different positions for Skip Schumacher. That's posed them some defensive issues in the first 3 weeks of spring training. We'll see how that plays out for the Fish today.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting when I talked to Skip earlier this year and John Jay in the winter, and they talked about moving Chisholm to center field. And then you start thinking about all the different guys that have to plug just to replace if you don't have that so-called second baseman or wherever you're moving guys to. And the team's so young, I think it's going to be a challenge. And, you know, you have a hard time winning games anyways. You got great pitching. You definitely don't want to go with a half-assed defense like you're just like struggling to catch the ball and throw the ball to win anyways, because you struggle to win with what you had before.
But their calling card is going to be a much better offense, they think, this year. They lost a ton of one-run games last year. That's why they brought in the AL batting champion Luis Arraez, who's back from the WBC. And I'm guessing, Jim, the thinking for the Marlins is they're going to score more than they let in. We'll see how that works out, as Jake Woodford is the man on the mound for the Redbirds today.
Yeah, their pitching is going to be amazing, and let's just hope our pitching holds up, and we'll see what we have today with Jake Woodford.
Who's making his 5th appearance of the spring. He's given up 4 earned runs, 11 strikeouts, 4 walks. Most impressively, Jim, Grapefruit League hitters batting 190 against him.
Well, this is a guy who, when he first came up, was electrifying, and then it's almost like the league kind of figured him out a little bit. Now he's made some adjustments with his arm and his body, and that's what you like when you're the Cardinals. You'd like to see those adjustments come into play during a game. You always have to evolve.
Jake, 3 runs and 3 2/3.
You always have to evolve, especially as a younger player. I mean, it's each year something's got to be different. You got to come into spring training with a different weapon every year, even if it's a pitch or a mindset or something that you're going to work on, pitching in more, using elevated fastballs, whatever it is, you have to change it up, or good hitters that just find you.
Sharply hit and through for a 2-strike knock. Luis Arraez aboard for the Marlins to start the game here in the top of the first inning. I think that's an excellent point. Evolution is one thing. As we take a peek at how the Cardinals line up defensively here at Roger Dean. Along the infield, Brendan Donovan gets a look at third base. Travis Motter at first. Mason Wynn has dazzled all spring. Tommy Eben back from the WBC at short. And Ollie's flip-flopped the corner outfielders today. Jordan Walker gets the start in right. Yepez in left. Ollie wants to see how
who
flexible they are. Yep.
Well, I think, you know, right field's to me a lot easier than left field, and Probably even more so here with this wind blowing, that you basically get the wind blowing in usually from one side or the other, and today blowing from left to right pretty hard. And so it's going to be a challenge for the outfielders.
Close call for Jazz Chisholm, hitting .281. A couple of homers for Chisholm, 3 runs batted in. It was his idea to move from second to center. He says he's up for the challenge. And as you see, the wind will not make it easy for any of the outfielders, even ones as inexperienced as Jazz Chisholm. This ball popped up left side. Donovan and Edman. It'll be Tommy Edman for the first out.
You can see the wind blowing there on TV. This is where communication, especially with the young outfield, especially guys switching positions and the infielders, second baseman being young, first baseman being young, you really have to talk when that ball goes up in the air, and you can't be afraid to put yourself out of position a little bit, because there's just no way certain balls are going to go foul in left field, and anything to right field is going to hook and blow, and probably could blow out of the stadium.
Here's Jorge Soler. Marlins looking for a big bounce back year from him. Both he and Garcia and Wright for the Fish were big disappointments for the Marlins offensively last year. So Jorge Soler, a homer, 2 RBIs. He's their left fielder. And Woodford gets check swing strike. You mentioned, Jim, evolving. I can't think of a better way to describe what's had to happen for so many of these Cardinals youngsters, even on this pitching staff. It's been called camp opportunity. There is an opportunity for Jake Woodford here.
I feel like every year there's an opportunity for a pitching staff. And the best thing that I think some of these younger guys or guys on the fringe can take with them every year is there's so many guys come up and down. So you can't get discouraged. But I thought it was interesting. You and I were talking to Ollie today about all the mechanics and all of the. They're finally starting to figure out a way where a lot of this body mechanics will play into movement and pitching and just the way that pitches move. And
like
it helps. Yeah, and it helps a guy like, say, Jake Woodford, who'll come along and throw a good hard 4-seam fastball and just a breaking ball. After a while, that same arm slot, you're going to see it as a hitter, and you're going to know exactly what's coming as soon as he lets it go. So when they start to move around a little bit and get some sink, get some other action, it totally changes the game for the hitter.
2 outs for Garrett Cooper. He's the Marlins DH today. He'll play first base quite a bit for them.
I mean, you saw that pitch for strike 3 right there to Chisholm, and then right there you see a nasty sinker running in on a righty. So being able to use both sides of the plate, straight and sink movement, is definitely going to help you.
That's chopped off Cooper's foot. That'll hobble him for a moment, and Jake now a strike away from getting out of this top of the first.
Another nasty sinker right there, as you saw. The key to pitching is just keeping the hitter guessing, right? And you take a look at this pitch right here. Look at the movement right here. You see the 2-seamer is just runs. So you don't know, is he going to throw the fastball that's going to be straight? And the amount of time you have to make the adjustment isn't enough to guarantee you can see 4-seam, 2-seam, and be able to then swing. You have to start your swing hoping you're in the right spot.
And swept off play. What gave you more trouble, movement or raw velocity?
Probably movement, especially the guys that could throw in and run it back, because that means you got to start early.
Right.
You know, I mean, you have to open up early. Guys that threw hard, if they're straight, you could just kind of get on top of the fastball, knowing that they overthrow, the ball's usually going to run away. It's going to be outside.
Little pop into shallow right. Walker will play that on a big hop. Cooper got jammed, but he's strong enough to pick up the second Marlins hit here in the top of the first inning.
I always felt like the guys that are right-handers that threw really hard, when they miss up and away, so you don't really have to worry about the ball on the inside part of the plate. You get a guy like, I mean, obviously, talk about a guy like Greg Maddux, didn't throw very hard, but movement. You were always worried about the ball coming inside. And so that plays mind tricks with you, and you got to speed up, open up, figure out how to cheat. And then as soon as you did that, he threw something away.
Avisail Garcia, the hitter, and takes a strike. Well, the Cardinals starting pitching all spring has been terrific. And as we said, Woodford is doing good work, working in his 13th inning against the Marlins today. And a little high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jack Flaherty talking to him. He's going to pitch tomorrow, Jim. He said he feels like a dude again. He's pitching like one as well here in Jupiter.
Yeah, he's got to get that confidence back, that just get out there and command the ball, command the strike zone, command the mound, command the respect. When he does that, he's going to be as good as anyone. Because his location, when you've seen him pitch, he can spot balls down and away, down and in all day long. With a good slider, he does that with confidence. He's going to be tough to hit.
And to your point about being worried about the ball in, he's added a cutter. He's been throwing that a lot more too.
Well, that's why I said when you evolve, right? You got to evolve. And a lot of times guys get here and they just try to do everything the same that they've been doing their whole life, and that just doesn't work at this level.
That is some kind of breaking ball right there. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two on for the Marlins. And Woodford ready with his 2-2. Ooh, just missed. Woodford thought he shaved off the outside corner.
Pretty good pitch right there. Ball's probably barely off the plate. Nice job by Contreras, though. He didn't move much, and he brought it back onto the plate. Looks a little different in the red, doesn't he?
Sure does. Runners go. That one right down Broadway. And that'll retire the side. Garcia can't pull the trigger. 2 strikeouts in the top of a scoreless first. Even without Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, who are still playing for Team USA in the WBC, Jim, this is a pretty stout Cardinals lineup against Daniel Castano.
Led by this guy right here. He has had one heck of a spring training. I mean, he's the guy that everyone said, what are you going to do with him? And he shows up at camp and he hits 2 home runs in the first week. And he's hitting, what, 325? I mean, what are you going to do with him? He's a guy that almost has to play. But the best part I love about a guy like Donovan is he can and will play anywhere. And you have to have those guys on your team.
4 homers, 10 RBIs for Brendan, hitting 325. That's in for a strike from Daniel Castano, who's had a nice spring. He's pitching to a 1.17 ERA, just 7 2/3 innings for the Marlins, who will have their starting staff as one of their team strengths. Castano trying to crack that rotation.
Tough one to crack.
They've got some arms. There's no doubt about that. 1-2 pitch. And fought off foul.
I mean, I know you've been watching the game for a long time, but when you've been down here watching this team play, especially Donovan playing a lot, there's not very many guys on this team that you'd want to be up there in a tough situation than this guy right here. He takes a heck of an at-bat every time.
Hits it the other way. Joey Wendell was breaking toward the second base bag, and that ball went between Wendell and third.
Looked like he didn't see that off the bat at all. What a great, it's like I said right there, it's 2 strikes. Whoops. It's not going to get there anyways, but what a great at bat again by Donovan. I mean, lefty, 2 strikes, good fastball and a breaking ball, and he just sits there and takes his time and gets a good pitch to hit.
Tommy Edman swings the first one and pops it up toward third. Gene Segura and Wendell converge. It'll be Segura and Tommy Edman out on 1 pitch. 1 on, 1 out. Jim, what are your Toyota keys to the game today?
Well, first day of spring, my first game down here. I'm going to go with just staying healthy. You know, we saw a scare last night with Arenado in the game with USA Cuba, and just down here, same thing. Be careful, stay healthy. Opening day is around the corner.
And watch this kid do his thing. I can't wait for your impressions of seeing Jordan Walker live.
I love when you just watch guys take pitches. Just how calm he just took that pitch. It's almost like he's been here for 10 years and he's just like, oh, I'm just going to wait for a pitch to hit.
Now, who knows what's going to happen in this at bat against Castano, but Walker leads the Grapefruit League in hits, average, extra bases, and he's only struck out 9 times.
I mean, I'm not going to compare him, but I've heard it. But is this going to be a situation like Pujols when they go into the locker room and they say, hey, you can't leave him off the roster? So that's basically what happened to Albert in 2001. They said you can't leave him in the minor leagues. He's got to come with us.
Well, and that's what we were talking with Ollie about before the game. And I don't ever remember, Jim, a manager saying this about his club with 10 days to go until the regular season starts. As that ball's in the dirt, and Brendan Donovan got a good secondary jump. He'll move up 90 feet on a wild pitch.
He had the wherewithal to almost grab his helmet as it was flying off, knowing that he was going to be safe. Watch the slide right here. Great job, the ball in the dirt. Watch the slide. He knows he's safe. There goes the helmet. Oh, almost got it.
But he's in scoring position for Walker, who grounds that ball toward third. Segura's got it, loads up, close play, but out by a half step. And 2 men are out. But to your point about Walker and so many of these other Cardinals kids, Oliver Marmol said realistically we have 8 guys on this team fighting for the last 2 roster spots. I don't remember a manager ever saying that.
No, and he said 8 quality guys that could and should be in the big leagues, which, like you said, you usually, you normally talk to a manager and said, oh, it'll work itself out, they'll play themselves into it. But I think the best part about having the World Baseball Classic is all these guys are getting a chance to play, and now you're getting to see your future. And now hey, I got guys I can actually rely on. Is one of the things he said, instead of going, oh man, I got to get somebody up here, I don't know who to bring. Well, now they got options if anyone goes down.
That you're excited about.
Yeah.
As Wilson Contreras bats, his bats come to life in recent days. He's up to 360 at the plate.
Be curious to see what kind of change that he has, just changing uniforms.
Segura tried a barehanded grab, couldn't come up with it. The inning continues. First and third, 2 outs. That's my question for the Marlins. Can Segura handle third base?
Well, last year I remember playing and going into Miami, watching them play, and I did the games there and when they came back, and there was 1 or 2 bad plays every game that would cost them the game. You have Sandy Alcantara out there throwing lights out, and then you're giving away extra outs, and they didn't score a lot of runs last year, so this guy's losing games 1-0 with 2 hits and 3 errors. It's just probably, if not the best pitcher in the league, one of the top few, and it is exciting to watch. And I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of the way he goes about his job, and I was really happy that he finally got the recognition that he deserves, the way he's been pitching, and to win that Cy Young is just huge.
And so for the Marlins, and look, they know their personnel far better than we do. They have a second baseman playing third, they have a first baseman playing second, and they have a second baseman playing center.
Got your work cut out for you. Wonder if Skip's rethinking it right now.
Well, it's a long way to October. We'll find out then for sure.
Well, you never know.
Right. But part of it, I'm sure, for Skip is, hey, I've got a chance to mold this and build something. They've been looking for stability there for a long time, and success, too. And maybe he and his staff will be the answer for Kim Eng and Bruce Sherman, the Marlins owner. Runner at first goes as Nolan Gorman swings through that. And Contreras will be at second with a dropped ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Patience is going to be the key for Skip, really is. And it's hard, especially when you come out of the game. You know how hard it is to play well, but you also know how easy it is to pay attention and do the right thing. And you kind of lose that fine line sometimes as a coach because you've been there.
Nolan Gorman rung up on a check swing strikeout, and the Cardinals strand a pair. We have no score, just underway on the first day of spring from Jupiter, Florida. Best plays presented by T-Mobile for a chance to win the ultimate all-star fan experience. Restrictions apply. See rules and vote at worldbaseballclassic.com/best plays. Jim, you could have picked the best plays from one game alone. That was the game last night where the USA team clobbered Cuba.
I felt like I was watching the Cardinals play Cuba. You had back-to-back starting pitchers for the Cardinals, and then your first and third baseman here did most of the damage. And watching Nolan get hit in the hand was a little scary. I'm glad that he is okay, and his x-rays were negative, I believe I was told, and that's good news.
For me, that was the best play, that he came out of that okay, as opposed to Jose Altuve, who broke his thumb.
Gotta be your biggest nightmare as a head coach, as a manager, and your ownership.
Gene Segura takes a strike. How about Adam Wainwright? Bases loaded, nobody out. He gives up 1 run and then 2 hits the rest of the way.
I was actually impressed, and I know he works his tail off. Actually, a funny story. I played catch with Adam Wainwright on the beach in January in Mexico one time.
That ball shot toward left. Yepez is on the run. He'll cut it off shy of the track. Segura on his way to second. Here comes the throw, and a good tag's going to get him.
That's exactly what you want to see. Go over there, just make the play, catch it, and throw it on the money and see what happens. It's got to make Ollie happy right here. Does a nice job. See, the wind knocks it down, helps him get to it, and then he just makes a strong throw. Great pick.
Good job by Mason Wynn to apply the tag, and that's what Oliver Marmol told us before the game. He wants to see.
He wants to see every part of all these young guys, what they do, and the little things like the tag and positioning and footwork. What I was saying was, playing catch with Adam in January at Albert Pujols' birthday party, dedication from him, and I knew he'd be ready. I was impressed how sharp he was last night, and he looked like we're watching Adam Wainwright in June.
And Ollie said his velocity was up, which was their main concern for him going away to the WBC.
I didn't see all of it, but I thought 92-ish in there. A bunch. Pretty consistent. Good movement. When he's on with his control, it's pretty fun to watch.
This is Yuli Gurriel, former batting champion with the Astros, a couple of World Series rings. They signed him to a minor league deal, and I believe there's an opt-out that may be within the next day or two for both him and Jose Iglesias as to whether those 2 men can make the Marlins roster. There's no denying this man's offensive pedigree, but he's no kid. He's 38 years old, and that's, again, something the Marlins are looking for. Some thump in one of the biggest ballparks in the major leagues.
Yeah, and you got to have an opt-out, at least with a couple days left of spring training, give you a chance to maybe see if anybody else needs help. Being the last one released the last day of spring training doesn't give you much of a chance.
Jordan Walker's first chance in right. No problem with that. 2 quick outs for Jake Woodford. Here's this Cardinal-themed victory last night. Paul Goldschmidt with a long home run gave the USA team a lead they did not relinquish. 14-2. They await the winner of Mexico and Japan, who play tonight.
I'll tell you what, when no one's doing that, that's when he's locked in. He gets away from trying to pull balls and really stays on pitches. He's swinging the bat really well, and he pulled a bunch of balls down the line that he needed to, and then he took that off-speed pitch the other way. I mean, that's the good thing too, is these guys are getting ready. They're basically playing games, and playing games that mean something. So their adrenaline's going. They're playing in the big leagues right now, opening day. These guys are now getting a chance to play because they're not here, which is even, I think, a best situation you can have for a manager.
Nice play by Tommy Edman to cut across the second base bag. Woodford getting the ball on the ground. We are scoreless from Jupiter. Cardinals and Marlins. Now it's your time to vote for the 2023 Cardinals Hall of Fame, presented by Edward Jones. Great nominees: Joaquin Andujar, Steve Carlton, David Freese, Matt Morris, and Edgar Renteria. Cast your vote at cardinals.com/HOF. Voting closes April 21st. Jim, how about that potential class?
I think you just put them all in there, don't you?
I would.
I mean, you got some quality guys from the past, and then 2 of my favorite teammates. So I have to kind of throw the vote for everyone.
Juan Yepez, high hopper to Joey Wendell, and he makes the play for out number 1.
Edgar Renteria was probably one of the, and I don't know how you viewed him from a distance. He had a good career. One of the probably more underrated gamers that I ever played with. He wanted to win down deep. He was quiet. His English wasn't great. He was really very soft-spoken. He wanted to win more than anyone I ever met in my life.
You might recall he went from the Cardinals to the Braves, and when I was in Atlanta, as Dylan Carlson hits, I asked Tony La Russa, Tony, what are we getting in Edgar Renteria? He said the ultimate teammate.
Gamer, yeah,
and when
teammate.
Tony La Russa says that, that is saying something. So we'll let you know who's elected.
Him and Fernando Vina were shortstop, second baseman. They were like best friends. And I walked into the weight room one day, and they were arguing so much I thought they were going to throw blows. And I said, what? And they were both that hard-headed about winning. It was hilarious. I'm like, hey, when is this going to stop so we can all get back to our workout?
Well, it's a shock finding you in the weight room. As Dylan Carlson bats, 3 homers for him this spring. Dylan hitting .263 on the year. And getting the start in center for the Redbirds today. As that's cut on and missed. Right across the shoe tops, Carlson over the top, and that's strikeout number 2.
Nasty pitch right there. It's almost that pitch that if you know a guy has that pitch to a righty, you almost have to take it. That's unhittable. I mean, it's not that you can take it because it starts off in the strike zone, but it's one of those pitches that you can't do anything with because it's coming down and into you. There's just no way you can do anything but hit it off your feet.
Taylor Motter's done good work both at first and third. Motter's had a lot of big league experience. He's hit for some power here this spring.
Big man.
And great hair. That's important.
Yeah,
too.
he was the first guy I saw this morning walking into the clubhouse. And I thought to myself, who is this guy?
Right?
Well, I had never met him before, but I love it. I love the hair.
Sharply hit into right field. Motter just keeps on keeping on.
It's also nice that he can hit, too.
Yeah, right? So another sensational Cardinal youngster coming up, Mason Wynn. But first a look at the Motter hit.
It's almost that same cutter right there. You see the difference between it stays up. You stay inside of it, you can put it in play. When it gets down by your feet, no chance.
Mason Wynn has been the other talk of camp, if you will, with Jordan Walker. You know, the Mutt and Jeff combination. Mason, the more slightly built. But man, oh man, has he done everything defensively. 13 hits, 9 RBIs. He's played both short and second.
Probably another guy that really benefited from the WBC.
Roller toward third. And Segura on the run gets his man by a step. We head to the third already. Cardinals nothing. Marlins nothing. One of the highlights of the upcoming season for the Cardinals is the 2023 MLB World Tour. The Cardinals and Cubs will play a 2-game series June 24th and 25th in London, England. Won't that be fun? And preparations are underway for that big series. And joining us in the booth is Maria O'Connor, the head of communications for MLB Europe. Maria, welcome to Jupiter, Florida.
Thank you very much.
Happy
Lovely
first
to be
day of
here.
Spring.
It is great, and I'm glad to say it's warmed up a little bit as well.
Thankfully, that is the case. A little ground ball to first, and that'll be the first out. Tell us about the preparations for the Cardinals and the Cubs this June.
So preparations are certainly well underway. We had hoped to have them over in 2020, but COVID had other plans around that. So we have a team of people in the UK working very closely with a team in New York. And obviously the teams from the Cubs and the Cardinals as well, to make sure that we have everything geared up and ready to go. We have the delights of not having a ballpark in London, so we have to take London Stadium and transform it into a ballpark. So London Stadium hosted the Olympics in 2012. It's now home to West Ham United, a Premier League soccer team.
Right.
And we will get the keys to it 18 days before June 24th. And then it's up to the teams to turn it into a Major League standard ballpark.
So 18 days from start to finish to put on the event. If I remember correctly, when the Yankees and Red Sox were there, the hitters loved the experience. Do you expect that to continue?
I hope so. I mean, we're hoping that everyone will enjoy the experience. So whether it's the hitters, the pitchers, whoever's coming. But yes, you are correct. The hitters loved it in 2019. They put it down to the beautiful batter's eye that we had in the stadium. It helped to make the ball pop. So yeah, some high-scoring games in 2019, which when we're looking to introduce baseball to a new audience, works perfectly.
That's where I was leading you next. I know that Great Britain had a team in the World Baseball Classic. We all know about the Premier League. We call it soccer. You all call it football. How is the popularity of our sport, baseball, growing in your country?
So it's certainly growing. It's certainly on the rise, and you know, having the opportunity to bring teams like the Cubs and the Cardinals to the UK really helps that. We have a big community of baseball fans, both playing the game, playing the sport, but also those that love watching as well. So people that will stay up late and watch games in the US and follow their teams.
This is Luis Arraez, the Marlins leadoff man, with one out. And foul back, visiting with Maria O'Connor, MLB Europe head of communications, getting us all set for our trip to London. For fans that are coming, what should they expect?
So they should expect a game that is full of energy. Our ballpark will be bigger than a lot of major league ballparks. We have 62,000 capacity. So it's going to be noisy. It's going to be really exciting and great atmosphere. We look to bring the best of the ballpark across the pond and back to the UK. So giving everyone a really good, fantastic day out and a weekend to remember.
If I left a couple of tickets for His Majesty King Charles, do you think he might want to show up and come see the Cubs and the Cardinals play?
Hey, why not put the ask in? Why not put the ask in?
Wouldn't that be cool?
It would be.
Now, years ago, when I was working in Chicago, we had Sarah Ferguson come out and sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game," and she had a crush on Mark McGwire, who was the Cardinal first baseman at the time. So that was kind of fun to see her sing the song. We had all the royal protocol people. She doesn't know how to sing the song. She did a great job.
Yeah.
We had a lovely time with her.
Maybe we should invite her back this summer.
That would be great. That would be fantastic. So teams are going over 2 or 3 days in advance. I believe there'll be workouts and the like to get acclimated to the new stadium.
That's right. So they will travel overnight on the Wednesday, arrive in the UK on Thursday morning. They have kind of Thursday to acclimatise. Then Friday will be workout day at the stadium. So the first time really that the players get to see the ballpark and familiarise themselves with it. Then games Saturday and Sunday. And as soon as that game finishes on Sunday, they're out of there, back to the States and ready to continue the season.
Well, just don't run out of beer and hot dogs, and all your American fans will have a great time. Maria, it's so nice to meet you, and we can't wait to see you in London.
Great. Thank
all the
you
best.
very much.
Thank you very much. Pleasure. Jimmy, that was your best inning of the young spring schedule.
How did I do on my my accent? Was that good? Did anyone think it was me?
Brendan, I hope not. Brendan Donovan pops it up.
I've been working on my voices. You know how you were doing little voices earlier today? I've been working on my female English accent.
I will check on that a little later as Brendan Donovan's up for the second time. And he sprays one out of play, foul. This is the first time I had a chance to meet Brendan this spring. Of course, first year with the team. One thing I noticed about him, don't go in for a handshake unprepared. It is like squeezing hands with a vice.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger and stronger than he looks on TV.
And a great kid. Up to 341 this spring.
I mean, this is what I'm talking about right here. Look, he got a tough lefty, 0-2. Does a pretty good sinker right there. He doesn't even flinch. I mean, just gives you at bat after at bat.
Would you say he's advanced in that regard, lefty versus lefty at this stage?
I mean, I'll tell you what. He has just, his game is just, this is his game. I mean, right out of the chute, you know, when he first got here, he was same stuff. It was just every day you're like, oh, what a great at bat. Oh, and the next thing you know, you're in June going, oh, what a great another at bat. And you're thinking, well, he's not a, you know, he didn't just get here anymore. It's just the way he is.
Right.
And it's just nice to watch.
And were you amazed that he was able to do what he did offensively, considering he played everywhere defensively?
I think he just has a great approach. He doesn't overswing. He takes borderline pitches, got a great eye. And I think that's just his game. I mean, if you don't put a lot of effort or a lot of thought into the defensive part as far as just play like Little League and go out there and just try to play the, make the play, make the easy play and keep it simple, his offense speaks for itself.
Tommy Edman back in the lineup after returning from the WBC, and that's popped into foul ground over by the Cardinals dugout. And out of play. We were hoping to have seen Tyler O'Neill today. He too is back from Team Canada, but Ollie, Jim told us before the game he's a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, I was saying he's battling a little sickness or something, and I think these guys, they come back from that WBC and can take a couple days off, move around a little bit, not really losing much.
So maybe Tyler will be in the lineup tomorrow as that skips up there.
Well, I thought it was interesting when you're like, say, Tommy Edman, for example, because he's here. When you go from playing in front of 40,000 and now you're playing in a spring training game, is it almost like a backwards letdown? You're like, this doesn't seem so exciting today. There's only 5,000 people in the stands.
Right.
Where'd everyone go?
1 ball, 2 strikes. Out of play. I don't know how you do it, but if MLB could somehow bottle the energy that we have seen in
Holy cow.
Lone Depot Park the last couple days in every city.
I mean,
you'd have to worry about a renaissance in baseball. It would be here.
What's interesting too is you expect that out of the Latin teams, and you see that daily basis when you watch winter ball, and if you've ever been to it and all that. But to see the American fans act like that, it's awesome to watch.
Look at the Wind play with that ball. Great play by Joey Wendell to get to that at the line.
Yeah, I think Segura might have given up on that a little early right there. The basis when you watch winter ball, baseman right here, ever been to it and all that. But seeing Segura, look at the third baseman right here. He's like, oh, that's a fly ball.
Look at the Wind play with that ball. Great. Won't have to worry about that at Lone Depot Park. They'll have the roof. But a nice play nonetheless. Here's Walker, a strike. Jordan grounded out his first time up. The numbers speak for themselves. The play speaks for itself. We'll see if there's a roster spot for Jordan Walker when we join you opening day against the Toronto Blue Jays. Jim, that's 10 days from today.
Yeah, it's coming quick. It really is. I think the biggest thing I've noticed with Jordan Walker is all the things you see at the plate, but how well he moves around in the outfield. I mean, that play even in the first inning or second inning that he made, it's not an easy play with this wind, and he's just like, no big deal.
He was the guy that was born and raised a corner infielder.
Yeah.
Now he's playing the corners in the outfield.
A pretty good athlete. I think guys like this is, they don't come around very often. When you can throw him anywhere and watch him move around as easy as he does, as big as he is.
The other day during batting practice, he was hitting balls onto the roof of the Marlins clubhouse area.
Those are fun days out here. Listen to that ball ping off that tin roof up there. Doesn't happen very often.
And a couple of breaking balls gets Walker and erases the Cardinals. 1, 2, 3 in the bottom of a scoreless third inning. 6th is a Saturday at Busch Stadium, and we'll host the 18th annual Purina Pooches in the Ballpark Day. Come on downtown and enjoy a ball game with man's best friend beside you. A limited number of tickets are on sale at cardinals.com/pooches. Pitchers duel here in Jupiter today. No score after 3. Daniel Castano for the Marlins. Jake Woodford starts his 4th frame for the Redbirds. He struck out 4 in 3 innings. And both these guys, Jim, have real good breaking stuff.
Well, and the command has been really good too. Not a lot of multi-ball at bats, or getting it right after the hitters, keeping everyone off balance.
Jammed and dumped into right field for a soft single for Soler. Let's have a couple of those.
If you can stay from getting behind a lot of hitters, you can have a really good outing, and just keeping hitters on their heels. They're going to get hits, obviously, but more times you put hitters into a hitter's count, one, you're going to have more guys on base. 2, you're going to get bigger swings, and you're going to put yourself in trouble.
Garrett Cooper singled today. He's up for a second time, and Rolled foul at third.
Can't
Strike
help
one.
but think with this shot clock, so to speak, the pitch clock, that I would tell my pitchers, hey, get the ball down, throw strikes, make the hitters be aggressive, come after you, and let's see what happens. You know, it's hitting sometimes is tough to stand right back in there and mentally get prepared for a pitch that quick. And it's, you know, you're kind of having to think yourself through in a bat once in a while. And as a pitcher, a lot of times, you know, your catcher's going to give you signs. You just grab it and throw it.
That's what Brad was talking about.
A lot of strikes.
How do you slow the game down when the pitch clock won't let you?
Yeah, you can't. And as a hitter, well, on both sides, it can obviously get out of control. But I think the pitcher does have the advantage if he throws strikes.
Sure.
You know, you see the game will get out of control when they don't throw strikes, get 3-1, give up a blast, walk a guy, give up a double. But the way these guys are going at it today, throwing strikes with both pitches, keeping the ball down, basically just moving along, and your hitters are all on their heels.
Strike three, outside corner. Another breaking ball from Woodford, his fifth strikeout.
It's almost as if the hitters can't get into their own rhythm. You know, pitcher's got the advantage.
So here we are, Jim, 3+ innings in your first spring training game live. Have you noticed a big difference in pace of play?
Oh, for sure. But I love the fact, so far from what I've seen, it's just automatic. There's no warnings. There's no, you know, the adjustments have been made. There's no shenanigans. I mean, he's just getting, right now, so far with Woodford, he's just getting the ball and throwing it. And he's one of those guys that I think did that anyways. You don't see guys looking at the clock too much. They've already made the adjustment. So I just kind of like the aggressiveness of it. Now, when you start getting into the regular season and the backdrop's better in the big stadiums, guys are going to be able to pick up the ball better, and they're going to start unleashing on some of these pitchers. I think it's going to reverse. Now the pitchers are going to be looking for, how do we slow this game down all of a sudden?
That's about as close to a big league shift as is allowed with the new rules this year. That's Mason Wynn, almost right behind the second base bag. Again, new rules this year. 2 defenders on either side of the second base bag, and all defenders have to have their feet on the dirt.
So I think the shift in certain things, in certain ways, was a bad thing. I think where it really worked very well was the second baseman being able to play deep in second base. I think that took a lot of hits away from the lefties. I don't think the shift for a lot of right-handers, when they put guys over there, I don't think those are the guys you see stay inside a ball and hit two-hopper right where the second baseman should be. So I think you're going to see some lefties get some more hits, but I think the righties are pretty standard. I think they're going to hit balls where they hit balls anyways, and I think they're better off. You know, how many times did you see a guy make his pitch and the guy would hit a ball where the guy should be standing all day long?
Time. Walker runs out of room. That's into the seats, foul off the bat of Avisail Garcia.
But I think that the shift killed some of the left-handed pull hitters, but I think it hurt some of the pitchers like a Wainwright, who would make a really good pitch to a right-hander and he'd fight it off and make his pitch, and you see a two-hop, you know, dribbler to the second baseman.
Something we haven't seen a lot this spring, it's happened a time or two, is clubs have gone with 2 outfielders. Well, they will play what's now an okay shift.
Yeah, there's always going to be a way to get around it. I think that's pretty crazy if you think about it. I mean, how many times you see in the bottom of the ninth with the bases loaded and nobody out when they bring all the infielders in, and you got a right guy and a guy in right center and a guy in left center. How many times did they get out of that inning? Never.
Right. Another strikeout for Woodford. He's got 6 of them now. And Gene Segura is the hitter. And to your point, as this ball's lined over second and headed for the right center field gap, Marlins will have runners at the corners here with 2 outs. Prior to that hit, that Woodford strikeout pitch, Jim, was, by today's standards, a rather normal 92, but he was late.
Yeah, I think he's done a nice job of mixing in the sinker, the slider. He has a breaking ball, but then he's also mixed in a 4-seamer up, and so it's not always up and it's not always down, and that is going to play with the hitters a little bit, moving your eye level around, especially up is 92, 93. When you're getting 90, 91 mile an hour sinkers, and you got to think about, am I going to hit this ball with my shoe tops? And then you get something in your face that you got to catch up to.
I've said it a million times, with the ability of guys to throw with high velocity, as you said, change eye levels, in, out, up, down, change speeds. it's a miracle anybody ever gets a hit.
Well, I think that we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years that velocity alone gets whacked. You know, you see a lot of 100-mile-an-hour fastballs right down the middle. They're getting hit 450 feet.
Gurriel with 2 on, 2 out, pops this one toward right. Walker is there in foul ground. Jake Woodford, 6 strikeouts through 4 shutout innings in the heart of his orders coming up. The Blues are on a nice roll of late. They're back on home ice tomorrow night for the first of 2 with the Red Wings. Coverage starts at 6:30 tomorrow here on Bally Sports Midwest. Top of the hour in Jupiter, Florida. Cards Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. Chip Carey with you on Bally Sports Midwest. Cardinals and Marlins are scoreless. Contreras, Nolan Gorman, and Juan Yepez are the Redbirds hitters coming up. Cardinals have 3 hits. 2 of them came in the first inning. Contreras has 1 of them. And quickly, it's 0-2. As we mentioned, we've got the Washington Nationals tomorrow. We'll see Jack Flaherty pitch again. Jack's had a nice spring. As Contreras was rung up on a pitch clock violation. He was not facing the pitcher with 9 seconds. And so credit Castano with a strikeout. That's what you got to get used to. If you're not facing the pitcher with 9 seconds, the umpire can ring you up, and with strike 2.
That's kind of one of those things when you look down for a second and then you look back up and he's walking back to the dugout and you're like, wait, what just happened?
Nolan Gorman, first pitch swing, drives that toward Jazz Chisholm in center, and Chisholm makes the comfortable catch for the second out. I will say this, like the rules, don't like the rules, at least MLB has been consistent and strict in enforcing them from the very first pitches of spring training. Just ask Manny Machado.
Yeah, as if the umpires need more things to worry about.
Yeah, right? But I wonder, and I've mentioned this on one of our other broadcasts, as Yepez stands in with 2 outs and pulls it toward third. Nice diving stop from a knee. Segura with a beautiful play. Beautifully done. 3 up, 3 down, and very quickly, Jim, we head to the 5th. Still no score. Cardinals baseball on Bally Sports Midwest is brought to you by Chevrolet. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer. By BOS Bank, bank boldly. And by Toyota, Deer Adventure. Ready when you are. Toyota, let's go places. Jake Woodford's having himself a dazzling day. 6 strikeouts through 4 scoreless innings. How does he fit into the pitching puzzle come opening day?
I mean, we say this every year, I think, and this is the important part. It usually does play itself out, right? And if there's one fringe guy, there's always one bullpen guy that you don't need, where you kind of just throw your fringe starter in the bullpen for a while, or you might want a guy, and then you can get him up and down for some spot starts. But somehow it ends up working itself out. You got 6 starters. You know, you can manipulate the roster a little bit with the AAA or some days off early in the year, and I don't know. It just seems like just stay positive, stay healthy, and you're going to get your shot.
That's Dusty Blake, the Cardinals pitching coach. We were talking about it earlier in the game with Oliver Marmol about how shaping pitches, how biomechanics, how analytics are all helping these Cardinals youngsters especially not just reshape their careers, but reshape their pitches.
I thought that was very interesting because there's a place obviously off campus here and all over the country now that guys are going to get their bodies in better position, let's say, for the biomechanics, to have more velocity or just be all in tune, save your arm a little bit. And now teams are getting it here, and they can do it at home. And that's, I think, when you work really hard in the winter and you struggle a little bit during the season, that's when everything goes south, because now you can't go back to drive line and say, hey, I need help. You're stuck here, right? And so you got to fix it yourself. So if you have that kind of stuff in your clubhouse, it just makes all the difference in the world. And you can see a little bit of what Jake Woodford's doing today he looks like a different pitcher. You know, he's relying on movement. He has a four-seamer up, but he's just throwing his pitches and saying, here, hit it. And he's getting more movement because of those, say, adjustments from the biomechanics.
Austin Allen is the Miami hitter in the 5th inning. That's pulled foul. And with this Cardinals infield, why wouldn't you want them to hit the ball on the ground?
Exactly. Well, and to me, the analytics is one thing, which I think is completely overrated at times. But that stuff is legit. The biomechanics of pitching, especially how to get max effort out of your arm without maybe maxing out, save maybe your elbow, your shoulder, or get more movement. Staying behind the ball, you know, staying back as a hitter gives you all that power. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing on the mound. If you can stay back longer, you're going to have more of your body behind the ball.
And I would assume as a hitter, when you see Jake Woodford for the first time, it is like seeing a new pitcher.
Especially with the movement. I mean, he's trying to, like right there, he's trying to go inside. Look at that late movement right there. It's almost like it catches a seam. If he gets that ball down anywhere near close to the strike zone, the hitter's got no chance. But you're getting now a guy who's throwing sinkers and four-seamers and balls moving and sliding, and a lot more weapons so far this spring.
A bullet headed for the Cardinals bullpen foul off the bat of Austin Allen. And look, those changes don't have to be a lot, but you know better than anybody else. An inch and a half on a slider or a cutter makes a world of difference.
Well, we saw the difference between Helsley last year and the year before, and his slider looked like he developed a new slider, and all he said was, my legs are healthy.
Look at that ball.
Just taking off. It's almost like throwing knuckleballs into the wind. Balls are just sliding.
I don't think that's where he
movement right there at the end. No, but to get the movement.
So 7 strikeouts through 4 2/3. Luis Arraez, the AL batting champ, with a 1-for-2 day today. Woodford's been racking up strikeouts. He entered with 11 of them this spring. He's got 7 more today. And just missed for Arraez. 2 balls, no strikes.
Wondering right now, too, with the pitch count and the quickness of the guys having to work. You can see those last 2 pitches way off balance. Breaking ball's not going where he wants.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. I don't think we've touched on that. The speed, how much more quickly you get fatigued.
Well, I just think you can't really walk around the mound and take a breath. You know, it's like pitchers need a timeout every now and then, too.
Which leads to the question, how many pitchers, when that happens, are just going to say, the heck with it.
I'm done.
I'm going to give you a ball. Just so I get a reset.
Coach, I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
Come get me.
3-1 pitch. And that pushed him off the plate. Ball 4, first walk of the game for Woodford. In fact, the first walk of the game for either starting pitcher.
I mean, that'd been first total, right?
And here's Jazz Chisholm Jr., the native of the Bahamas. At the knees, pretty pitch. Chisholm's not a big guy, but he's got some pop.
He does have some pop. Almost a little bit of a Lance Johnson type guy, huh?
The one dog.
Little guy, big bat. You stay back and hit the barrel, it goes a long way. Does a nice job of staying behind the baseball and gets extension, and when he does that, the ball flies. The one dog. What a hitter.
0-2 pitch. Woodford with his 7 strikeouts. That's the most by any Cardinals starter so far this spring. Matthew Liberatore the other day was dominant. He struck out 6 men. It looked very good. Oliver Marmol said that was the best he's ever seen him.
He's another guy that they mentioned with the biomechanics. He's made a big adjustment.
Scorched toward third, but right at Brendan Donovan. And it's 5 shutout innings for Jake Woodford. Cardinals nothing, Marlins nothing. Dylan Carlson and the lower third of the Cardinals lineup coming up here in the bottom of the 5th inning. No score. Daniel Castano, former Cardinals farmhand, has been very tough today. He has scattered 3 hits and has struck out 4.
That's that pitch, Chip, right there. That's the one I was saying you gotta learn to take. That's part about hitting as you get older, is learning what to take and how to take pitches. And even if you have to give up a strike, you know, or you're getting that. I mean, there's really nothing you can do with that pitch. And so any time for a lefty facing a righty like that, I would say any time as a righty's hitting and a ball's coming inside, you almost have to guess it's that slider cutter. You know, and so you got to stay off of it. You almost have to look out over the plate.
The changeup has Carlson behind, a ball and 2 strikes. Dylan struck out his first time.
Same pitch right here.
Nobody on or out in the home 5th.
See that swing right there, what it's done to him? Starts to lose that shoulder a little bit. That's when now if you go outside, he's opening up, protecting that inside corner, protecting that foot. Now if you go back outside and he pulls off, he's got no chance. They keep trying to come in there if he makes a mistake. It's when you go to the well a few too many times. You got to get, you know, yeah, he swung at it once for a strikeout. Yeah, he fouled it off his foot. But the ability for pitchers to throw that pitch over and over and over for a strike and be effective starts to kind of lose its luster. And now if you miss and he's opening up, you're in trouble.
Well, if he throws a ball in the outer half, he's got a lot of room on the right side of the infield for the Marlins. Gurriel's way off the line at first, and Arise almost right behind the second base bag. And a good job by Dylan to come back.
Pretty good try right there. He tried to throw the fastball in there and run it back over the plate, but just didn't move.
So that is the first walk for Castano, and Taylor Motter's coming up. Motter with a second inning single today. Cardinals so far 3-0 against the Marlins this spring. Counting today's game, we've got 3 more with them. Before we wrap things up, runner goes. The throw to second is going to be way late. Dylan Carlson with an easy stolen base. Bigger bases.
Sure, that foot's not feeling so great.
Limited disengagements. We'll see if stolen bases rise in 2023. That ball shot toward Wendell at short. He falls down but recovers. And Carlson still at second now with 1 out. Well, let's see what Mason Wynn can do. He's done a lot this spring.
Ball's 108 miles an hour off the bat right there.
For an out.
Yeah.
The other day, Wynn went 3 for 4, fell a homer shy of the cycle when the Cardinals racked up 16 runs against the Marlins. 1 ball, no strikes. And had him off stride, popped out of play. Strike 1. We've seen Wynn play shortstop. We've seen him play second. And when he's played second, Jim, he's got a Sean Dunston arm on the double play turn.
Yeah, I've seen some video of him throwing the ball across the diamond, and it's impressive.
To third. And Segura gets him by a half step. 2 outs.
Takes his time over there.
Yes,
Third,
he does.
doesn't he?
Back to the top. Here's Donovan. Donovan 1 for 2.
Carlson's body language at second base looks like he's been through a war. He's limping. His leg hurts from sliding on the hard ground. Got hit by a pitch.
All those foul balls at the plate,
Sliding
right?
into the hard second base ground. I mean, he was like, look, you can see him out there. Just like, oh, it's one of those days.
Donovan took a shot and came up empty.
It's when you're standing on second base saying, please hit a double.
Right.
Don't hit a ball hard at someone. I don't want to have to run hard. Hurts too much.
Castano with a 2-strike count. Mentioned the good at-bats that Brendan put up time after time after time last year. How is he with 2 strikes?
It's been great. I mean, he really has. It's amazing what he just keeps doing it. The fact that he just doesn't move a lot helps. You know, it's almost like he spreads out a little bit more. He really is just trying to put the ball in play. And the funny thing is he hits the ball plenty hard because he keeps everything behind the ball. It just takes a nice solid swing. So you're getting best of both worlds, not swinging at a lot of balls, and when he does swing, he's hitting the ball in the nose.
Slow roller. Gurriel's got it, and the Cardinals are out of luck in the 5th. Jim shows up, and the Cardinals offense gets a little quiet. We'll see if we can change that in the 6th. Game time. Let's talk about the outing of Jake Woodford.
Well, watch what he does here. Watch all the pitches. His straight fastball stays on the outer edge. Running fastball back at the slider, breaking ball. Another really good breaking ball right there. And then the high fastball. So pretty much he used everything and had a really nice day. Look at those numbers. And got some pitches thrown too. What, 82 pitches. So pretty much everything that you could possibly ask for as a starting pitcher from your manager today, he did it.
So now Ali Marmol turns the game over to Drew Verhagen, who makes his 7th appearance this spring. How about his numbers?
I mean, these guys, they just keep throwing guys out there, huh?
Verhagen, in his 6 outings, has given up 1 earned run. He has yet to walk a batter for the Cardinals, and he's promptly behind Soler. 2 balls, no strikes.
Right on cue, huh?
Right?
It's always that way.
Yeah, how sweet is that?
Here comes the Twitter jinx. You're a jinx.
Here we go. Here we go. Another strike. Cardinals pitching staff in spring training has a 3.98 ERA. That's pretty impressive when you think about all the youngsters who've seen action.
I was going to say, a lot of the starters, too, have been pitching really well. I'm wondering where all the few losses and the runs have been given up.
And there is the first base on balls. Soler's aboard to lead off inning number 6. And Garrett Cooper will stand in. Cooper 1 for 2. Now, Verhagen's been impressive. Zach Thompson has not given up an earned run for the Cardinals.
And the way he ended last year, I don't know if he's ever going to give up an earned run again. Thompson.
Timeout was taken by Garrett Cooper, so no pitch. And you better put some armor plating on your shoes in this game.
Sinkers. Oof. Especially spring training. I always thought that in spring training, when you start hitting the ball to the pull side on the nose, you're ready.
You ready?
Takes you a few weeks. I mean, it is always the last to come, but yeah. And so you've seen today a lot of guys hitting balls off their shoe tops.
Nice jump for Jordan Walker, and Soler heads back to first. Cooper hit that on the button, but he's out number 1. And here's Avisail Garcia. He has struck out twice. Again, opening day is right around the corner. We're 10 days away from the Toronto Blue Jays.
We are praying for the weather to change. Let me tell you.
A little cold, huh?
Woo. As of yesterday, it was.
You know, the 13 Cardinals Hall of Famers will be at Busch Stadium for the opening day festivities. Matt Holliday. A man named Jim Edmonds is going to be there. John Tudor, Jason Isringhausen, among others. Really looking forward to seeing Mike Shannon. I know Mike's watching the game today. And I promise you that Mike has gone out and purchased a brand new all-black outfit for the first game of the season.
His red jacket. They don't make those anymore. You know that, right?
They don't?
Members only? They're hard to find.
Mike bought them out, huh?
Yeah, he has every one of them.
So nobody does opening days like the St. Louis Cardinals, and we'll get the festivities started at Busch Stadium. Last time we heard there was still a limited number of opening day tickets available, starting at $44. If that's still the case, you can check online at Cardinals.com. Two good, young, exciting teams will square off in the season's first series. The Cardinals and the Blue Jays.
It'll be fun to see them play, especially in St. Louis, where our fans can get to see them play. We played there last year. You know, get to see them on TV, but to see those guys, a lot of pedigree in that lineup. Get to see them live in St. Louis. It'll be a lot of fun.
With all the new rules, we haven't even touched on the new schedule. To your point, you play every team every year, once at home, following season on the road, for example. As that strike 3 at the knees, and Garcia's got the hat trick, 2 outs. I think that's the best marketing that baseball could have done. Get the great stars in your ballpark every other year.
I also think, too, it's going to be a lot more fun for the players. You know, it does get a little taxing playing Cincinnati Reds 18 times and the Pittsburgh Pirates 18 times. You know, it's fun to play the Cubs, obviously, because of the electricity and stuff. But it was great to play Baltimore, even going to different stadiums, going to see Toronto once in a while and getting them in our ballpark, and going to see the Camden Yards. Used to be my favorite ballpark. You know, when I was a kid. When I first got up through the league, it was one of the first new ones for me to play in, and I really loved it, just the way it was all put together. And I think it's fun as a player to get to go different places. It just kind of gives some excitement.
That shaves off the corner. Segura didn't think so. 2 balls and a strike. Well, that'll be a challenge for the Cardinals. They feasted on the National League Central last year. And those games against the clubs that are rebuilding will have to be made up by playing other clubs in the other league.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you're going to find a few bad teams out there in all the divisions, but you are going to run against some better teams, and it ought to be fun.
Popped up. And Motter at first is there. He'll make the play. Verhagen, another scoreless inning, this time in the Marlins 6th. College night at Busch Stadium is Tuesday, April 4th. That's a Tuesday night, and then Monday again, April the 17th. With the purchase of a theme ticket, fans will take home an exclusive Cardinals sweatshirt. For details, visit cardinals.com/theme. New lefty on the mound for Miami, Stephen Okert. And he'll face Tommy Edman, Jordan Walker, and Wilson Contreras. Okert was busy last year and pretty good. Edman today is 0 for 2. He's popped out twice. John Birdie is checked in for Miami. He's at shortstop. He replaces Joey Wendell. And a good eye for Edman. 3 balls and a strike. Now the full count pitch. And that one way outside. Let's see if Edman does some running. So there's a lefty on the mound. The Cardinals do have a stolen base against a lefty in the game. And with this part of the lineup, let's see what Ali decides to do with no score.
This is that double-edged sword here where you'd like to run, but then you don't want to take a guy off base with this guy at the plate. If you're going to run, you better make sure you're going to be safe.
Walker 0 for 2 today. And that rattles around the Marlins dugout. Off to the left. Strike 1. What was your first big league camp like? Do you remember it?
Yeah, out of Double-A. It's pretty intimidating. The cool thing for me was I had an old school coach, and he basically said, hey.
There's a shot down the line, just foul.
And Buck Rogers, if you remember him, and he said, hey, you're going to pretty much play every day in the 7th inning on. So just be prepared. Sit down, learn, sit next to Rod Carew, pay attention, and be ready to play in the 6th, 7th, and 8th, whatever. And every day.
Buck Rogers said, sit down and listen to Rod Carew.
And watch, listen, learn, and then be ready to play in the 7th inning.
Wow.
Every day, and sure enough, it made me comfortable, which I loved. And I was only in Double-A at the time, so, you know, I loved. I was talking about this a couple years with Danny. I love that in the old days. The difference now is the old days, they kind of was like, it was like a privilege to get to spring training. Where now it's almost like you want to see these guys and get them comfortable. Because now it's not like old school, new school. It's like, I want these guys to come up and be ready to play.
Segura throws it away. That's headed for the Cardinals bullpen. That'll rattle around. Garcia digs it out, and scoring is Tommy Edman. And Jim, we talked about it earlier. If the Marlins don't catch the ball, it's going to be a very long year.
That's what I was talking about, watching this team play last year, and every game they gave away a run, if not 2. There's one right there. It's an easy double play ball that turns into a double and a run score. But I was saying, if I'm the manager at this level now, I want the guys coming up from AAA to be comfortable, understand what's expected, and everyone kind of know each other. I don't want somebody walking into the clubhouse the very first day and being timid. You know, I thought that kind of was a backwards way of handling things back in the day. And then you get called up and you're like, oh boy, I don't know anyone. Like, who do I talk to? It's a little different world now. So I really do like the fact that even this year we're getting a lot of guys to play, some experience. Manager gets to see some of these guys, gets to know them. I think it really helps when it's time to be called up and you're ready to go.
It seems too that as an organization, and that organization being the umbrella that is Major League Baseball, as Walker takes off and steals third. That's a big man. Lefty on the mound. Okert didn't pay attention, and Walker steals third rather easily.
Well, he gave the fake pickoff once, and I don't know if you want to do it twice, but he gets a great jump. Makes a nice throw right here, but it's still not close. That's impressive.
Infield comes in after the headfirst slide. Walker, you might recall, strained his shoulder on a headfirst slide earlier this spring.
That's the one thing you don't like to see. Kind of hard to teach them to switch, though. It's like you go head first, you go head first. It's something you want to see them go feet first, but that's something that's very hard to switch.
Well, back to your Double-A to the big leagues. That seemingly, to me, in the last decade or so, it's what's really changed about our sport. Usually it was Double-A, then Triple-A, then the show.
Yep.
Now all the real good players seemingly are stacked up at Double-A now.
Yeah, they kind of, I think it was a little bit like that back in the day, too, where a lot of your guys that you wanted to play every day stayed in Double-A because you had such a up and down bounce between Triple-A and maybe guys you didn't want to let go that were still hanging around in their 30s at Triple-A. And I still think it's a little bit like that, but I don't think it's as much anymore. I think they've kind of blended it in where everyone's getting to play. There's so many good athletes now that everyone's got to play. So both levels are getting a lot of talent and a lot of playing time.
And they're good at 19, 20, and 21 years old.
Yeah, they're good at the big league level already at 20 years old. So Double-A is probably getting some 18-year-olds here pretty soon. It's just getting younger and younger every year.
So Okert's had no luck in this inning. A couple of walks, an error behind him. He's given up the game's first run, and now Nolan Gorman will try to play pepper with someone and drive home Jordan Walker at third base. Gorman's 0 for 2 today. Jim, he's talked about swing adjustments. The high fastball was problematic for him last year.
Yeah, I think when the league found out that he's going to chase, I think he has home run on his mind a lot. Hasn't really trying to go the other way too much. And he started pulling off a lot. I think he got pitched in a little bit, opened him up a little bit, and then swung a little bit too hard. When he slows himself down, realizes what kind of power he really has. With 2 strikes, he can go deep. Slows himself down. He's going to be a really good hitter. But right here, he's just got to put the ball in play early on.
That was close.
Pretty good pitch right there. Pretty interesting. You see those averages versus certain pitches.
So the breaking ball has gotten him to 2 strikes in this sequence. And that one hooked over first and in for a base hit. That'll score Walker. Contreras around second. He's chugging for third. He'll make it with a slide. And Nolan Gorman with a 2-strike hit extends the Cardinals' lead.
It's a good job right here staying on the ball. Just putting it in play. Staying with that breaking ball, getting it off the end. But, man, it's so important to put the ball in play right there to get one of those runners home. I think it's interesting, too, to watch Wilson Contreras run. That's one thing that he's going to add to this team is, you know, Yachty right there is not going first to third. You know, I mean, he's not Yachty by any means, but you got a catcher now that can run a little bit. Not going to clog up the bases. Going to give you another opportunity to score some runs.
And Gorman takes off on the first pitch against a lefty. And the Cardinals have their second steal of the inning.
This is the one thing when you play a team so much during spring training. Pitchers start tipping the way they go to the mound or go to the plate or go to first base. You give anything away, these Cardinal coaches will pick you apart. It's amazing how many pitchers in this league fall into a pattern of how they're going to throw over and when they're going to throw over. And they just know. This guy, he comes set, he's not going to throw to first anymore. He likes to throw quickly.
Breaking ball hit a mile high toward left. Soler near the line. He's under it. He's going to make the catch. Contreras will tag. He's going to come home. There'll be no play. Cardinals had their third run. ABC baseball. The Redbirds have 3 runs, Jim, on 1 hit.
Whatever works.
Right.
Don't forget that run. That run's as good, or that error is as good as a hit. You threw away a run. But that's kind of the at-bat you'd want to see right there with the guy on third and less than 2 outs. Get a pitch you can hit in the air early in the count and get it over with. At least get the run home.
Well, the inning is over with for Stephen Okert. 3 runs, couple of walks, and the Cardinals have scored first at home in Jupiter, Florida. Hope you'll join us on April Fool's Day, Saturday, when the first 25,000 fans 16 and older take home a mystery pitching bobblehead showcasing either Yadier Molina or Albert Pujols, courtesy of Central Bank. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. Jimmy, I got to practice reading the promos
pitching?
faster.
Did you say pitching?
That's what it said.
And then you said Molina and Pujols?
That's what it says.
Caught me off guard right there.
I'm just the guy that reads the cards.
Don't kill the messenger.
Dylan Carlson, the hitter, as he faces Huáscar Brazoban, right-handed reliever for the Marlins. St. Louis with 3 runs in the 6th inning, a couple of walks, a couple of steals, a throwing error, and a sacrifice fly. Dylan's looking for his first hit, batting left-handed now, and another one right off his knuckles and fouled at the plate. Left side, right side, which side do you like Dylan the best?
You know, it's interesting. He's gap to gap left-handed, a little bit more pull right-handed. And I'm not really sure which side he's got more power. He does have the same amount of power, which you don't normally see on both sides. And it's not overwhelming power. It's just fly ball gap home run power. But, you know, he hits more left-handed. I think he has better success. The key for him is going to stay on his toes. He gets a little locked on his heels every now and then, and he kind of loses his balance, as you saw in that swing he hit off the end of the bat. You can watch his feet when he takes a swing. If his feet get all fluttery, then he's a little bit on his heels, and that's one thing he's had to learn to try to balance with.
That gets away. There'll be no play at third. Nolan Gorman moves up on a wild pitch.
Another great job just take advantage of the ball and dirt.
And now a fly ball of any depth, you get a free run. Or a base hit to right. Dylan Carlson hooks that over the drawn in infield. It's 4-0 St. Louis.
Pretty good changeup right there. He just barely gets it over the second baseman's head.
So the Redbirds have 5 hits. They've scored 4 in this long 6th inning. Taylor Motter is the batter. See his good work this spring.
Pretty good fastball at 96 right there.
Well, when you face Miami, you're going to see a lot of that, both in their bullpen and their starting rotation. With the reigning Cy Young winner, Sandy Alcantara, will get the ball opening day against the Mets at Lone Depot Park. That was close. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
This young man right here is 33 years of age, only got 27 games in the big leagues. That's a long path to getting yourself to the big leagues right there.
Don't you love guys who won't let the dream die?
With this kind of stuff too, you wonder what happens, you know? You get bounced around a little bit or doesn't get an opportunity.
And a swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. That was a Mark Gubicza-like breaking ball right there.
What that was.
Nasty. And Mason wins your hitter with 2 out.
That almost looked like a split, didn't it? Just late movement. See the catcher boxing, stuff like that. You have to wonder.
Might have been a cross-up, but it worked.
It was late.
And Wynn takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Mason's played Pepper at third base twice. And right back to the mound. And that will retire the side. The Cardinals send 9 to the plate. The Marlins help us out. 4 runs come across, and we go to the 7th. Well, Jim, one of the big competitions for the Cardinals this spring was how were the Redbirds going to put together the left-handed portion of their bullpen. Genesis Cabrera was busy last year and today makes his second appearance since coming back from the WBC.
He's one of these guys, and when he's on, and thankfully the majority of the time he is lights out. But, you know, as we saw, there's always guys watching. There's scouts in the stands. Always looking for that. And the problem he'll run into is overthrowing and not getting ahead. And he'll throw a lot of the breaking balls will be the same. So he doesn't have like the get me over and the put away. It's kind of just max effort all the time. And so when he's on, man, he is tough to hit, but he's got to pitch ahead.
Last outing was against the Tigers on the 18th. 1 inning, 1 strikeout. He gets Gurriel to fly out. And here's the stolen base leader in the National League last year, John Birdie. Checked in for Joey Wendell. You taking the over or the under on 41 steals leading the National League this year?
Ooh, I'm going to go with probably over. I think that they're going to figure out a way to manipulate this throwing over, pitch count stuff, this clock, timing. Guys are going to fall into a rhythm.
And the bigger bases. I always wonder, too, with the de-emphasis of stolen bases in the last decade or so, how many catchers are prepared to handle the running game now? Going to have to do it on the fly this year.
Yeah.
Driven toward right. Pretty well hit. Walker got a good jump. Middle of the warning track. No trouble. Birdie gave it a ride, but he's retired. 4 out, number 2. More good pitching for the Cardinals today. And Jim, tomorrow we expect more of the same. Our Budweiser on tap will feature Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he does as he progresses and pitch count goes up. See the conditioning, the command. You know, you usually see guys have that one bad outing. You haven't seen that really yet. I think a lot of these players have been coming in to camp in really good shape. You know, they're getting a little extra work because a few of the guys are playing elsewhere. And I think it's been a big plus all the way around. And it'll be fun to watch Jack pitch. It's been a long time. I know he's been working really hard. And he's one of those guys you really, really need in your rotation. You really do.
Injuries certainly derailed his last couple of years. You know that.
Yep.
And how much of the attitude muscle is part of the arsenal for Jack
lose it.
Flaherty?
I really do. I think you can lose it with all of the, you know, the mental grind of being hurt. I think you can really get down on yourself. And that I think that's a tough thing. Guys either have it or they don't, and guys can lose it. And I think it's hard to get back until you really get into a rhythm and establish yourself again. And that's not going to be, you know, a couple of starts. That's going to be like a good solid month or two of, you know, not only on the field but in the clubhouse.
That's where I was going to go next. I would assume that a player of Jack's importance and talent, because he cares so much, probably feels like he lets his team down because he's hurt, right?
It is as a player that you play a lot, a starter that should be pitching every 5th day, and as a center fielder that plays every day, when you walk around hurt, it feels bad. You feel like you're letting your team down. You feel awkward.
Ooh, all right.
It's not a good feeling.
Almost decapitated Austin Allen. And that ball's cut off, and the Marlins have second and third.
And there's where you're going to see the lack of experience, maybe, if that ball slips a little bit. But that ball just has to go to second base, and that's something obviously Jordan Walker probably knows. But this is where you're going to see the inexperience. He's overexcited. He knows he has a good arm. And I don't know if this ball just gets away from him because he doesn't really get a good handle on it, but you can't miss the cutoff man right there.
So second and third for Jazz Chisholm with 2 outs. Back-to-back hits for Miami against Cabrera. There's a good breaking ball. And in for a strike.
Some people say, well, there's 2 outs. You don't need to keep the double play in order. But you do want to keep guys off the second base as much as you can. Now base hits 2 runs instead of 1. And you take another forced play away from the middle infielders.
Good stop by Contreras. A ball into strike.
Does a pretty good job of being a wall back there, doesn't he? Used to say his idol was Yadi Molina. I said, that's a pretty good guy to look up to.
You would think. And knowing what Yadier Molina meant to the Cardinals franchise, to want to fill those shoes tells you all you need to know about Contreras.
Yeah, he's got a little drive in him, I think, to like you said, to want to fill, to be able to fill, to want to fill, to even be put in that situation. Tells you a little bit about his personality.
Jazz Chisholm swings and misses. And Genesis Cabrera with a terrific 7th will send us to the stretch. It's all Cardinals in Jupiter. Our copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Cardinal Hall of Famer Jim Evans, Chip Carey with you. A.J. Puck, former #1 pick of the Oakland A's, was traded to the Marlins. And after 62 games, Puck back in his home state. He's a former Florida Gator.
62 games. Back-to-back guys with 60 games for left-handers. Pretty much a left-handed day for the Marlins today, isn't it? All but one guy.
Jazz Chisholm's day is done. He'll give way in center.
That's Jesus Sanchez out there in center field.
Sanchez has played the corners. He's played first base. They've been looking for a center fielder since Juan Pierre played, it seems like.
Since he charged the mound back in 06.
Oh, is that right? Well, he'll be tested here. Brendan Donovan goes the other way. Another lefty-lefty hit for Donovan, who's got 2 hits on the day. That guy can hit.
Yeah, he can. I don't, to be honest with you, too, and you haven't spent a lot of time here, I don't think, over the years, but this isn't an easy ballpark to hit in. I don't think the backdrop is very big. And I think for me, the backdrop hasn't changed in all the years I've been here. And every now and then you'll get, and not every now and then, half the time you're going to get guys that are so big and they're off the side of the mound. When you get righty-lefty matchups, lefty-righty matchups, you can't see that well. And it makes it tough to hit. You almost want to face a lefty some days. And like I said, to hit 326 in spring training here is a feat in all its own. I remember leaving here a couple of times and going to like Atlanta or Houston to start the season, and the ball looked like a beach ball. And I thought, okay, I'm going to be able to hit. It's not that bad.
You're going to be okay?
Yeah, I'm going to make it.
Well, feast your eyes on what you see in the outfield here for after this spring training. That entire area beyond the fences will be demolished and rebuilt.
It's going to be an interesting year next year with it not being finished, is what I'm told, and kind of makeshift clubhouse for spring training maybe next year.
Yeah, I think the guys said they could change at your hotel suite and come over.
Come on in. I only got 6 days, so you better hurry.
Edmonds shoots one toward right. Garcia on the run, still going back at the wall, and has enough room. But that'll advance the runner 90 feet. Tommy Edman hits it hard. And a productive out gets the home 7th started.
Good at bat for Tommy right there. He gets a little pull conscious. When he does that, he starts to struggle a little bit. And you want to see him hit the ball up the middle and the other way on both sides of the plate. I'll tell you what, that is when he's at his best.
Let's check out the approach of Jordan Walker here with the infield in and 1 out. popped up. That's headed toward foul ground and
not getting caught.
Out of play. Well, first impressions for you live of Jordan Walker. What do you like?
The athletic ability. You know, we haven't seen much out of his swing today, but stolen base, movement in the outfield. To be honest with you, the movement in the outfield kind of caught me by surprise a little bit how smooth he is. You know, that's kind of, I think, the best part for him is being so agile out there.
Chopped at first. Great leaping play by Gurriel to take away a hit. Great approach, just some bad luck.
Yep.
That was a heck of a play to save a run.
A little bit late on the swing, just enough. I think Gurriel right there forgot there was a man on third. He was so surprised he caught it. Just walked over to the base and then went, oh yeah, there's a guy over there.
Pedro Paez is up and takes a ball in the dirt. One ball, no strikes. Cardinals and Nationals tomorrow with Jack Flaherty on the mound. That one gets away, and that will score Kerakuto standing up. Boy, the Marlins' defensive mistakes have cost him at least 2 runs in this game, and it's now a 5-0 score.
Well, you think about this too. I mean, I would count that as giving away a run. So you've given away 2 runs, and the lack of the ability to hold runners on base and letting them run at will at times have probably given away another run or 2. So you've almost given away 3 or 4 runs today, just other than, you know, out of the ordinary. You can't hold runners on and you can't throw and play catch, and you're not going to win a lot of games.
And we've seen this from the Marlins in the previous 3 games head-to-head with the Cardinals. And you know it's got to drive Skip Schumacher crazy.
Well, you're going to get it in spring training now. You got a lot of new guys. You got a lot of guys trying to overdo it. You got a lot of guys out of position. You got a lot of maybe a backup catcher, minor league pitcher. But you don't expect that stuff from maybe your starters, you know, throwing the ball into right field or just not being able to play basic defense. They did that a lot even in the big leagues last year.
So a full count. Cardinals have scored 5 runs in the last 2 innings. And this one is tipped and caught. And that will retire the side and send us to the 8th. Good day so far for the Redbirds. They enjoy a 5-0 lead. Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest is brought to you by Chevrolet. See your Mid-America Chevy dealer. By Plaza Tire Service, the quick change experts. And by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Shutout ball for the Redbirds so far. They lead 5-0, and now Jordan Hicks will check in. Hicks has struck out 4 men, Jim, in his last 3 outings. And he'll face Jorge Soler to start the Marlins' 8th. That was an easy 98 that missed. 1 ball, no strikes. I mean, the ball is darting all over the place.
You're going to be quite interested to watch this young man pitch. Like, it's hard to catch him. I mean, he throws the ball like that at 98, 99 miles an hour and has massive run. And then has a wipeout slider like that it fooled everyone, including the umpire.
Up and away there, and 100. And chopped towards short. And the toss across in plenty of time. Kramer Robertson's taken over there. And there is out number 1. Soler now 1 for 3 on the day.
You think that the new catcher comes in, Pedro Paez, and he's like, oh, great, thanks. Catch Hicks.
He's got a new glove. He's got to break it in fast.
Tell you what, he threw the ball down to second base in between innings, and he caught the second baseman by surprise. He's got a cannon.
This is Brian De La Cruz, who's rung up. He takes a strike.
I think if I'm right-handed in spring training right now, I'm fine with that against Jordan Hicks.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that too. Let me get through this without getting hurt. Keep the ball
Move along, nothing to see here.
Keep the ball off my fingertips.
Right.
And off my shoe tops, and I'll be good. I'll come back tomorrow and try again.
I remember not so long ago when a kid named Mark Wohlers came up from the minor leagues and was throwing 95, and everybody was on the top step of the dugout saying, wow, that's something.
Yeah.
Now
105.
Yeah, 95 almost doesn't get you looked at. It's amazing, isn't it?
It better have some movement.
Right.
At 95.
2 balls, 2 strikes. For Brian De La Cruz, Hicks turns her loose.
Yeah. You see the balance right there. He loses that. He's got to really just let his stuff do his own thing. You know, not try to make things break, not try to make it sink. Try to just keep his composure and throw the ball and let it do what it does.
That's taken downstairs, and De La Cruz walks. Like a casual fan might say, well, why don't you just throw it right down the middle until it doesn't do what you want, and then you're backing up third base, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to say, hard to do. With the movement and the velocity, you're kind of hoping to set up down the middle and see what happens. But sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Tough day for Avisail Garcia. He is 0 for 3, has struck out 3 times on this chilly day, and fouled away. Sunday, April 2nd, 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home a lightweight hooded long sleeve pullover. Stay warm on days like this at the ballpark all year long. Tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions.
Could have used that today, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Would have saved you some money on the one you had to buy.
Yeah. Luckily, they had extra medium in stock, so and bell-bottom shaped. I'm in good stead.
It's always interesting when you wake up and look outside and think, I don't have a jacket for this.
I didn't pack for this, right? Well, better weather expected tomorrow here in Jupiter, as that's fouled away. 102 on the gun. And the 2-strike pitch in the dirt. Cardinals start play today with 43 men in big league camp. 10 of those are non-roster players, several still away with the WBC. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And it's chopped up the middle. Robertson got it. Gave ground to second. And the peg to first. There's that strong arm from Mason Wynn. A double play sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Now for the Cardinals 5K on April 22nd. Participants get a pullover, a finisher medallion featuring Ozzie Smith, and a victory lap around the field at Busch Stadium. Sign up at cardinals.com/5K. That's presented by Bally Sports Midwest. 5-0 St. Louis. Carlos Linares will come on and get a big league at bat. Linares, then Yepez for the Redbirds. A.J. Puck still out there for the Marlins. And that upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Oh, beg your pardon. It's Tanner Scott, not A.J. Puck. Scott, another lefty. 3 lefties out of the pen after Castano started for Miami. Scott, another who's seen big league action.
I love when these young kids get at bats. I think this is so cool. For them to come up and get a chance to play, not just sit all day long.
I mean, everybody remembers their first big league at bat in a major league game, right? You mentioned how intimidating it was to come to big league camp. Do you remember your first spring training at bat?
Actually, I don't, because I think I played defensive replacement for a couple of weeks first.
Had to test you there first?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
You know, it's like, oh, hey, so-and-so made the last out in the 8th inning. Go play the next 2 innings of defense, or 7th inning and play.
Let me ask
and you're on deck with the last out made.
I guarantee your number wasn't 15. What was your first spring training
46.
number? Really? 46?
That was what they gave everyone back then.
Oh.
I think I wore 46, yeah, when I got called up, and then Jim Abbott left that year, and they gave me 25.
Yepes takes inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Were you superstitious about your number? Did you have any
No,
special?
you know what's really funny? I only had a choice at the end of my career. Actually, never really had a choice. I was 25 in Anaheim because it's basically the only number that they had, and they gave it to me. And Abbott left, Jim Abbott. And then when I got here, 15 was basically open. The day that I got here, they had released a player, and he was wearing number 15.
So that's how you got 15?
Yeah.
You didn't ask for it? They didn't assign
No,
you?
it was just like, they just ripped the guy's name off his back and just hung it right back in his locker.
Well, welcome to St. Louis.
Yeah. I could read the name underneath my name. And then just when I went to, they had it for me when I went to Chicago, and in Milwaukee they had it for me. So I never had to give anybody a Rolex or anything for it.
Yeah,
I would have drawn the line
that
there.
would get expensive,
I would
right?
have gone to like a number 5 or something.
Yeah, we didn't mention that with Woodford. He wore 40 last year. He's now 44 this year because Contreras wanted that number.
That's right.
Did he go? Yeah, he did.
Oh, no.
And a check swing strikeout retires Yepes. 4 out, number 2. This is a spot where we really need the big cat, Jim Hayes, to find out if there was any transaction involved in that number change for Jake Woodford.
Yeah. He would dig and dig and dig until he gets into it. You know, I mean, now you got to worry about Izzy looking over your shoulder. Isringhausen is like, hey, you're wearing my number. You better better make it good.
Oscar Mercado.
I always think it's funny when you see you've been with an organization for. It would be like if someone walked out of the dugout in a Braves uniform wearing number 10. You'd be like, that just doesn't look right.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Regardless if it's, you know, it wasn't retired at the time, or there was a really good player there for a long time. Let's not put Chipper in there, but anyone like that, and you're like, that just doesn't look the same.
It doesn't look right.
Like you see a 25 on the Cardinals team, and you'd be like, it just doesn't look right.
Yeah.
There's a few of those out there.
Especially if he's 5'9", 170. that would really be jarring.
Should have gave it to Joe McEwing.
Right.
He was there when he broke the record, so why not? Let's keep it in the family.
Here we go to the 9th inning, just in a nick of time. It's all Cardinals. They enjoy a 5-0 lead. Well, Edmund shows up, and the Cardinals are throwing a shutout after 8 innings. No pressure as we head to the 9th inning. And we hope the good work continues for the Redbirds tomorrow with Jack Flaherty on the mound. Jim and I will be with you tomorrow at 12 Central Time for the Cardinals and Nationals from Roger Dean Stadium here on Bally Sports.
Going to be with you a lot this week.
Looking forward to it. Cody Whitley's on the mound to get the last 3 outs. Gene Segura has 2 of Miami's 7 hits.
Thanks.
Limited duty for Whitley this spring. He's not quite like the old Iron Mike pitching machine, but he's, by today's standards, pretty much straight over the top.
I got one of those at my house, and let me just tell you, you would be surprised at some of the kids on this big league team have never seen an Iron Mike before.
Well, we will show our age from time to time, won't we? Right?
I mean, I thought that was the staple in the baseball world, and I got guys coming over going, "What is that?" Push the button, and it doesn't get any easier than that. If you can't hit this, you can't hit.
Make it really tough. Give them a dial tone telephone and see if they can call home.
Oh boy.
2 balls, 2 strikes for Segura. Marlins have out hit the Cardinals 7-6, but the Birds lead where it counts 5-zip. And a guy like Whitley, that motion, because it is so unique, is something that in the late innings I would think Jim would give a hitter an awful lot of problems.
Yeah, I think the ball can jump on you a little bit. You know, he doesn't have a good rhythm to, you know, you have to get used to facing a guy like this because he kind of just jumps at you, hides the ball a little bit.
That's into the corner, foul off the bat of Segura.
You know, it's interesting. It just said the hit total. It didn't seem like the Marlins would have more hits than the Cardinals the way the Cardinals pitchers have thrown today.
6 singles, 1 double. Sum total for Miami today. They have struck out 9 times against the Cardinals staff. Jake Woodford, if you're joining us, was terrific. 5 innings of scoreless ball, struck out 7. The most strikeouts of any Cardinals starter so far this spring. As this one chopped up the middle at the bag, and a laser to first in time.
It's Wynn still out there, right?
Oh yeah. He never feels like he's out of a play. He has a great clock and a cannon.
He can throw at any angle too. That's key. Just an athlete, you know. It's just, I always felt like if you're going to have a good team, you got to have a bunch of good athletes. Baseball player is one thing, but if you can move guys around or they can do different things, you know, you get guys that can run, play defense, and hit. You're an athlete, right? Then all of a sudden you got to fill different positions, and they can play in different areas and hit different spots in the order. You're going to have such a better chance of winning than just throwing out 9 guys that really can't do anything else but play that position.
Gurriel pops this up. Motter, long run back to the infield, foul ground, and the catch made in the bullpen. 2 outs. Well, we talked about that at lunch today. You can teach the skill sets, you can't teach athleticism.
Yeah. You really, I think the more, you know, the more athletic each player is, just the better chance of being able to move them around. And I'm not necessarily meaning playing different positions all the time, but putting them in their position, out of position. You know, like the shift, for example, moving a guy way over, knowing that he can get back if he needs to.
And how many times have you seen guys get to the big leagues and change positions out of need, and that athleticism allows that decision to be made?
Well, you get a second baseman who can turn a double play from any angle because he's got a good arm and footwork. And, you know, I used to love Mark Grudzielanek. He's the first guy that I ever played with at second base who played like a shortstop. He could run, he could throw, he could do everything on the field. And I was thinking, wow, that guy's a great athlete. And then you see these guys as all of them are great athletes, and it just makes it so much easier to coach.
Well, Whitley and the Cardinals a strike away from a 5-0 win. John Birdie swings and misses. Jim Edmonds comes back. The Cardinals keep winning. And Jimmy, you're 1-0.
Well, it was a pleasure to do business with you today. It's a great game.
Yes.
Scattered 7 hits, but I love that. 5-0. What a great job. And it's fun to watch these guys play. The bunch of young guys getting a chance to play still this late in spring training. I think it's great for everyone.
Let's do it again tomorrow.
All right.
One more break. We'll be right back.